Hi, fourth grade. I hope you're having a good day today. Today, I'm going to teach you how readers deepen their understanding of the text by discussing ideas with other readers. So, you just watched a video of some students having a book club conversation. So, some things I noticed to help grow powerful book club conversations is that the students in the video, and when you do this, is that you want to listen to the conversation and like it's gold, meaning you want to carefully listen to the conversation. So you want to make eye contact. You want to let the person speaking finish his or her thoughts. So when we're doing this virtually, what that looks like is that you're not texting someone on your phone and you have your computer up. You're not on Google Hangouts talking to someone. Your video is turned on so that your teacher can see you and you're participating in the conversation because that's what you would be doing if you were at school. Another thing is you want to be aware of any member who has gone unheard and invite him or her in. So you can do this by asking them, what do you think? Because we want to be able to hear all group members' ideas. And the last thing is you want to look together closely at one artifact. So what that means is you want to talk about one idea. So maybe it's talking about the theme, and everyone participates and talks about the theme. So you might agree with someone, you might disagree with someone. So the next thing that I have is ideas to talk about when you come to book club conversations. So if you have sticky notes at home or if you have a notebook, you can be taking some notes as you're reading. And then what you can do is you can share those ideas at the book club discussion. So some things that you can talk about in book club discussions is how characters act or feel. So in the video that you watched, a lot of the students said, I think or I noticed the character did this. You can talk about predictions that you have for upcoming chapters or what you think is going to happen next. You can talk about connections to real life or other books. You can talk about the problem in the story. So what are you noticing that's going wrong? How are your characters trying to solve the problem? You can talk about unfamiliar words, about questions that you might have. So like, why is the character doing this? A summary or retell about what you read or the chapters assigned, your favorite or confusing part, and something that you're wondering about. So this is very similar, but again, you can talk about characters and what they're like with evidence. So you want to explain why. So we talked about predictions, connections, reactions. So like a part you had where you felt something. So you're scared, excited, or happy. Why did you feel that way? The problem and solution, and then tricky words. So if I'm doing this with my Number the Stars book, you just read chapter 9 last week. So when I was reading chapter 9, these are some things that I stopped and jotted about that I would talk about with my book club group. So my first one is I said that I noticed that Anne Marie is a protective friend. So that's a great idea, but again, you want to back it up with evidence from the text. Evidence is what are examples throughout the story that support that. So I said, one of the things is at the beginning of the story, Anne Marie was protective over Ellen when the soldiers stopped him on the street. Anne Marie did the talking. Another example is when the soldiers came into Anne Marie's house to look for Ellen and her family. Anne Marie tore the necklace off of Ellen to protect her because she was wearing the Star of David and they would have known she's Jewish. And then in this last chapter that we just read, now Anne Marie doesn't tell Ellen the truth about Great Aunt Bertie. And she does all of these things to protect her friend so that she is safe. So again, I said something that I noticed, but then again, I gave evidence, which is examples from the story. Another idea I had that I could talk about is I wrote down that Anne Marie seems a lot older than her age by the way she acts and how others treat her. So for example, So again, I'm now giving evidence. For example, her mom and Uncle Henrik kind of let her in on some of the plans that are happening with the great Aunt Bertie. They don't tell her everything because they want her to be safe, and they say it's better to not know everything. But she acts a lot older because of the war that's happening. She acts a lot older than her age. She also does this by sticking up for her friends, and then the last one that I said was, this was a reaction that I had. So I said, wow, I can't believe the Rosens came to the house. I wonder what they are doing there or what's going to happen next. So again, the conversations or the prepared to talk about that I did is I talked a lot about how the characters are feeling or what I noticed they're like. And I gave lots of evidence from the text to support that. The one other thing when you're doing that is I put my Post-its on the page, but you could also say on page 78, I noticed this, because then people can look at their books. So again, the big idea is that in order to, if I go back to here, readers deepen their understanding of the text by discussing ideas with other readers. So the big thing is teachers want to see students having more of the conversations than the teachers always asking questions and keeping the conversation going. So your job in when you're having book club discussion is to come prepared to talk about your story by thinking about these different things. Again, you can do this if you have Post-it notes at home or on pieces of paper or just being ready. But by having these things down, then it's easier to discuss and have topics ready instead of just waiting for the teacher to have you talk and ask you questions. So your job today is to come to your next book club conversation prepared by having sticky notes or Post-its about some of these different ideas. I had 3. That would probably be a good start. You can always have more too, but then you're prepared to talk and your conversations can go smoothly.